Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Chassidus in the Morning. 15 minutes to change our lives. Kuntres, Umaayan, Perek, Tes Zayin, and we're doing Perek base. Very interesting Perek. Start by giving tzedakah, Kedel tzedakah shmekar sagulo, and we're going to continue davening for the hostages and for the soldiers and the Yidden should all be safe. Baruch Hashem, we heard great news yesterday. 2 of the hostages were freed. Yeah. Just imagine what a feeling and what a whole situation. Suddenly people coming in shooting. Next thing you know, you're running out and you're saved. The 129 days. Couldn't imagine what that feels like. But I'm sure it's good. So we're going to focus on Sativan Ben Erna. Mit Hashem, Sativan Ben Erna should be good and healthy and safe. Okay. So now Perek base, he's gonna get this is very I don't know how to say it, like meaty. Basically, we've been discussing about different things about Talmud Chacham, Machzik Tev Latzma, he held himself very highly or justified himself or all these things, and in contrast to a simple person doesn't even know how to read properly or daven with Pesha Milis. And there's a big mila, we sort of flipped it on its head and we're showing how there's a big mila to the simple person over the big learner. And ultimately, the lesson is always we have to understand who we are, where we're holding, and don't be arrogant. That's essentially the lesson, in simple. Irrelevant of where you're holding, we could probably very much associate or connect ourselves with the simpleton versus the big learner, but the simple and the simpleton is like we showed how it's a much higher level because of the fact that they don't have a geschmack, they don't have a tainug, they don't really appreciate when they're davening, they're learning, they don't get this real emotional connection or deep intellectual connection. And so we would very much connect with that, but it doesn't mean we should walk around being arrogant because we're so simple. And this is sort of the message, arrogance is not good. And now we're going to discuss different types of folly. So the question is, what's worse? Is doing a sin worse or having folly? And we're going to discuss different types of folly. And we're going to have this whole discussion. And ultimately what we'll see, I'll give you the answer already, is different perspectives on it. That they're all bad in their own way. And some of them are worse in certain ways. Certain ways, folly is worse than sin. Now you're going to say, how is folly worse than sin? Sin is sin. It's an avera. Folly is not an avera, it's a shtus. Shtus is a shtus. But we'll see. Let's see. Perek base. Mehine, page 247. Mehine, zeu ha'hefesh ben shtusei ha'gaiva. So you have the shtusei ha'gaiva, you have the folly or the foolishness of gaiva, which is arrogance. Shtusei ha'chazaka is tov la'atzmoi. Then you have when you're with self-satisfaction. You have shtusei stadkus, and we have just self-justification for the thing we do wrong. So we have gaiva, arrogance, which is self-satisfaction, and shtusei stadkus and justification. Then you have shtusei avera, and then you have the shtus of the avera. So there's four. Now we're going to discuss all of these four. Even in the first three, which was arrogance, self-satisfaction, and self-justification, even though they're not averas, they're not in the realm of avera, to have justification for why you did an avera and to give yourself an excuse for why you did avera, it's not an avera. Maybe it's not a good thing. It's not an avera. Sheheng bekam isur chamurim. Einam b'inyan keelu k'moy shehu b'inyan avera ch'mantzan shehem kam isurim chamurim. It's unlike averas that are severe things, especially like severe averas. Yeah, and in a simple sense, if you feel good about yourself and you're like, oh, I'm good, I'm doing good, I'm doing perfect, I don't have to work myself anymore, I'm done, I'm good, and you daven and you learn, you do all the right things, but you have this feeling of like satisfied, I can curse now. It's not a good attitude, but it's not bad. It's not a avera, or being arrogant. It's not also an avera. It's not a nice thing, but it's not an avera. But nevertheless, he neshtus eit tzadkus v'achzak teva v'agayva chamurim harbi yosef bezeh shehem goyimim hezekish yosef gedolim shtus avera. But they have something very bad about them that cause worse problems than averas, which is a wild idea. We're saying on one hand, avera is an avera, it's bad. So avera is worse than these things. But on the other hand, these things have holds over an avera something worse. So let's see. Why would these be worse than avera? The rabbi said in Safta Seita, "Ein adam eva avera ela im kein nichnas boi ruach shtus." We said this before. A person doesn't do an avera unless the spirit of shtus, the folly, enters them. The shtus halazeh. What shtus are they talking about? We have 4 levels of shtus now. So which one of them is it? The shtus halezu he bekamo ifanim shoinim u'mishunim lefit tivei b'nei adam. So it's different types of shtus according to the person, the nature of the person. Avu yedeyahu, but these are the first 3 types. So therefore, yedeyahu sha'av avera v'davar zenogeli. Ultimately, when you do an avera, this is the avera one. This shtus we're talking about is the avera one. So when you do an avera, so it bothers you that you know you did an avera. You did something wrong, and you know you did something wrong. Erweist, als hat getan das, was man enttar nit, und das verdrisst him. He knows that he did something wrong, and it bothers him. It affects him. The negia zu masha davar negeloi, this that it affects him. Have it to know the tshuva. This is already a movement of tshuva. Even though this is not true tshuva, it's not full tshuva, because he hasn't done tshuva yet, he just feels bad. But feeling bad about the avera is already a form of tshuva, it's already a part of tshuva. And he has remorse. And he'll get in this arousal from the spirit on high. Or like he'll get inspired, or it'll become an inspirational time period. You may slichas, like on Elul, or in slichas, Shashana, Tshuva, it's every tshuva, that arouses in tshuva. So the maila, so to speak, not to really say it's a maila, but a maila in the avera is that you did something wrong and you know you did something wrong. And this is a big issue in life. A big issue in life is when people do the wrong thing, it's they don't recognize it's wrong. We carry ourselves over. It's a simple, not nice example, but you have plenty of people, we all have the slogan, never again. Never again. But the same people that say never again, they still are anti-Semitic and doing all the anti-Semitic things. And we see the world around us today, how bad it is and how dangerous, how anti-Semitic it is. What happened to never again? It's because people don't understand these things, what I mean. And this is the problem. When a person steals, chas v'shalom, they don't say, I'm stealing. They justify that. And they say, I need it. That guy's plenty. All the excuses that we give ourselves. And this is what we're saying here is the problem. When you do an avera, it's bad that you did an avera, but you're not. But avera is very clear to you. You didn't do something that it's wrong. And this is why I used to say this. Stop saying this, but I used to say this. Like, it's also bad if you sin, and I guess probably got it from here. It's also bad if you sin, as much as when you say to yourself, as someone steals. It doesn't bother me when someone steals. It's when they justify the stealing. Say you did something wrong. At least admit that it's wrong. Because if you admit that it's wrong, so we can start talking. We can go somewhere. We're on the same page. If you come and say that Hamas are not terrorists, we have no common language. We're talking about 2 different worlds. First, we have to agree on fundamentals. It was wrong. You want to justify their wrongness? Fine, but it's wrong. If we both agree that what they did is wrong, then there's somewhere to start talking at least. And this is what we're saying. When you come and you do an avera, you recognize it's an avera, so you know it's wrong. Whereas when you come to all the other shtusim of tzadkus, self-justification, arrogance, things like this, you don't see the problem. So therefore, the problem never changes. That's what he explained. Unlike, in comparison, contrasting the sin to the shtus of justification, we justify ourselves. Why do I do this? Why do I think this way? Why do I act this way? It's because, and we give that excuse. Not just we don't admit to our sin and to our mistake. We don't even take ownership over it. We give it to someone else. We say it's these people, it's bad people that are hanging around and they caused me to be this way. Either it's his surrounding or someone else. And not only because of this is tzadkus, because of this justification that he gives themselves, they don't think about it, they don't feel bad. It gets rid of that remorse, and it doesn't cause them to have this arousal to tshuva. What do I have to do tshuva for? It's not my fault. You understand where I grew up? My environment caused it. So therefore, if my environment caused it, what do I have to do tshuva? It's like people saying sorry. People say sorry, and they say, I'm sorry, but you understand, you have to understand what happened. Then you're not saying sorry. Saying sorry never talks about in the sikha. That true tshuva is taking ownership over it. Don't put it on someone else. And this is sort of the challenge. People, when we put it on something else, why did this? Because I was hungry. I was tired. Once you do that, you take away the truth of the matter. And then you're not truly saying sorry. And it comes with a simple example of this, a way to express this, a very clear way, is when it comes to a relationship, especially a spouse, husband, and wife. When you come and you did something wrong, we always want to justify. We don't want to sound bad. We want to feel bad, so we want to justify it. Oh yeah, whatever excuse we want to give. And what we're saying here is we have to be honest. Say, I'm sorry, I did this. Take ownership over it. Don't give excuses. So not just we don't do tshuva properly, we do another avera by putting it on someone else. Because even the fact that you have these types of friends is because you chose those friends. And you have that choice. And you can say, oh, but it's hard because, this is where my friends are at. We have the choice. And therefore, therefore, it's more severe, the shtus, the folly of the self-justification from an avera. So an avera is not good. You can't do an avera. But the one, so to speak, mile avera has is at least you'll be honest with yourself. And you say, oh, I did something wrong. My bad. It's my fault. Whereas the shtus of itzadkus, justification, say, who did it? You don't put up your hand. It's not me. You don't understand. And you have a whole svar in your head. And this is sort of what we're saying the problem is. And on a higher level, then the shtus of the self-justification, he shtus achzakas tevel atzmayim, is self-satisfaction. Meaning to give yourself all the credit. When something good happens to you in your life, you give yourself all the credit. When something not good happens, it's always God's fault. God's only there when it's bad. When it's good, it's all you. So what's the problem with this? This is worse than the justifications. But when it comes to justification, who rak al sibas hadavar, al etzem hadavar who gamkin yedei the einay tev tikun. Because when it's justifying it, and the reality is, that it's wrong. You're just giving an excuse. Whereas the justification is that even though I know this is not good, but this is not fully my fault. It's like you do an avera. So I know I did an avera, but it was because of this. And you give an excuse to the wrong thing, but you know that there's something wrong. But the essential idea, we know it's wrong. But when we hold ourselves self-satisfied and we're good, we think we're good. Meaning we're not doing anything wrong. We're not doing any averis. But when we're coasting and we're done and we're not pushing ourselves, this is where I am, and we're good. It's not just, he doesn't need to do a tikkun, need to fix themselves. But the home sells, I'm good. I'm perfect. I don't need to work on myself anymore. I'm done. I'm good. And that's even more of an issue. Because you can't recognize, if you think you're good, then you can't go anywhere. There's nowhere to go because I'm good. Whereas, and this is the biggest problem. The biggest problem is when we think we have nothing to work on. It's like the story that I said a few days ago. This is one of my favorite stories, but I'll finish it off here. Tomorrow we'll continue going further into this. But the guy that became a chassid, he went from Eretz Yisrael in times of the Alter Rebbe. He became a chassid. He went to travel from Eretz Yisrael, which he learned in daven all day, and he came to Liozna by the Alter Rebbe. And over there, he also davened and learned all day. So the chassidim asked him, what changed? He davened and learned all day here, and now he davened all day, back in Eretz Yisrael, and also here, it's the same thing. So nothing really changed. So what changed me learn Chassidus? He goes, before I learned Chassidus, he goes, I had two questions and I got the same answer. Before I learned Chassidus, I thought I was the greatest guy in the world, and I didn't think I have any problems, and I thought I was the biggest tzaddik. And I said to myself, how is it possible that Hashem is going to have a big enough Gan Eden for me? I'm so great. And I said, what? What did I answer myself? The Eibush is a Kol Yachol. Hashem could do everything, so he can also figure out a big enough Gan Eden for me. This is, you could say, this is sort of Machzik Tevel Atzmi. And we're good. I'm good. But when he goes, when I came to Lubavitch, meaning I came to the Alter Rebbe, I started to realize who I really was. And this is, so to speak, the level of the person doing an Avera. I recognize who I was. And I said to myself, I'm doing so bad. I'm not doing the way I'm supposed to. I could be so much better. How's it the Eibishter can stand me? Yeah, he's so great, and I'm so small, and I'm not doing everything I should be, and I have a lot of issues. So I answered myself the same answer. The Eibishter is Kol Yachol. Hashem could do everything. Just care for me and like me with all my faults. And he said, for this, it was all worth it. This, to figure this out, just the travel was all worth it. And this is a very important point. This is what we're learning here. The biggest issue we will have is when we're not honest with ourselves. And the biggest success is being honest. And that's why I'm saying, even in Avera, which is bad, at least with an Avera, you can be honest with yourself. But when we're not honest with ourselves, then we can't go anywhere. And this is very important in marriage, important in every aspect of your life. It's not so bad when you do something wrong. It's as much as when we justify it and we don't own up to our mistakes. So Mitzvah Hashem, all of us, we can be honest with ourselves in a healthy way. It's not to honest with ourselves doesn't mean put ourselves down. Chas v'shalom. It means to be honest, to see where is good and continue on that and be honest with that, and also where it can be fixed and be honest with that. And Mitzvah Hashem, by all of us, you should have an amazing day.